So today I wanted to respond to the Pyra and Mythra hate that's been going around on social media when Pyra and Mythra got announced as fighters for Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, which I'm personally very excited about. I love Xenoblade, and I love those characters and the fact that they can transform and all that stuff. I think it's awesome. For me, in Smash Ultimate, any new character that comes out is just extra for me. I already got everybody that I could have possibly wanted, even characters that I didn't know I wanted, like Joker from Persona 5, the Dragon Quest hero, and Pyra and Mythra. And before I move on to look at some tweets and respond to them and just give my own thoughts on the overall reception of Smash Bros. Ultimate and Pyra and Mythra's edition, I want to get a few things perfectly clear before this comes off as like, you know, hate or drama or anything like that. Number one, a lot of the hate comes from a minority of people. This is not the majority. Believe me, when Pyra and Mythra got announced for Smash and I finished doing my reaction and uploaded my own video, I went out on the internet to just explore through a bunch of channels to see their reactions, and the vast majority was happy. It's just a few outliers, some bigger channels, a lot of smaller channels that are like, oh no, how could this happen? And from what I can tell is a lot of people that either A, have not played the game, they don't know what Xenoblade is, or B, anime bad. Or it could be a third one, it could be C, my character didn't make it in, so therefore this one sucks. Whatever it could have been, right? It could have been like, you know, Dante from Devil May Cry. It's not Sora, so it's not Crash Bandicoot, it's not Waluigi, it's not my arbitrary character that I wanted in. So, you know, instead of saying, okay, maybe next time, no, people feel the necessity to, like, be a dick and just downplay the new character, right? Oh, no, it's not Dr. Eggman. Dr. Eggman, by the way, being this, like, one character that people just magically decided deserved to be in Smash after, like, Sephiroth got revealed. You guys need to remember that the Smash characters have already been decided, like, more than a year ago, and people just now, like a few weeks ago, decided that Eggman totally has to be in Smash, even though before the Sephiroth reveal, no one said that. So what are the chances that Sakurai is going to bring Eggman to Smash? Very, very small. But anyway, I'm starting to get a little ahead of myself. I'm starting to, like, you know, go off on tangents. But the point of the matter is that most of the hate is not necessarily hate, because you actually have to know what the hell you're talking about to be able to hate it. I think a lot of it comes from just ignorance and personal bias. That's pretty much what it is. So please, if you're one of those people that didn't like Pyra or Mythra being in Smash, don't see this as like I'm picking a fight with you or anything like that, right? Or like that I hate you because you don't like the character that I like. It's just me maybe giving my own 2 cents, judging from the both positive and negative reactions that I've seen, and a little bit of social media here and there. And I really do mean a little bit because I deleted my Twitter a long time ago, and I'm very happy that I did. And that's mostly because of situations like these, where people just blurt out stupid stuff on the internet that ruins people's days. And I'm like, why? Just turn off your phone and just go outside. And wear a mask if you're gonna go outside, just so you know. So this one's really on the nose, isn't it? There's no wonder Pyra and Mythra upset these pro Smash players. They actually look like adults. So for the people that don't know, that's supposed to be a reference on some big controversy that happened recently. I think it was last year, or maybe even before that. But yeah, there were a lot of pro Smash players that got exposed for, you know, getting a little too friendly with minors and kids and stuff like that, to the point where, like, a bunch of pro players that we all knew and loved, people that I was subscribed to on YouTube, they're just gone. They just disappeared. And now, because of that, there's this running joke with the Smash community where it's like, you know, Smash players just like either touching kids or not taking showers. So, yeah, it's a little unfortunate because obviously that's not everybody. But yeah, he's essentially making a joke that, oh, because they look mature and well endowed and they don't look like little kids, and therefore people don't like them. I don't really have a problem with this comment. It's just a joke. So, like, but I just wanted to point it out because that's, you know, that tweet is getting a lot of traction there. People hating on Pyra and Mythra, saying that people solely like them for their boobs and not because they are both fantastic characters who have dealt with and overcome so much across their journey in Xenoblade Chronicles 2 and Torna. Yeah, exactly, and that's something that a lot of people just don't seem to realize. It's sort of the same thing that I always struggle with the Senran Kagura games, right? I always say, nah, these games are decent, you should check it out and play it, and they're super fun, and they're funny, and they're well written. But people are always like, oh, boobs? Yeah, right, good cover. Yeah, what a nice excuse for you to jerk yourself off, you know? Now, I'm not saying that I'm not doing that. But the thing that always bothers people is not the fact that there's fan service in it. Like, the thing is that people always have this vision that we are going out of our way to spend like $50 or $60 on a video game just to get like 10 minutes of some pleasure and fan service. Like, that's not how that works. You know, the internet is a thing. You can go on the internet, you can go on Google Images and just type boobies, and there we go. You'll get a bunch of that for free. You don't have to spend $60 on that. But a lot of people do spend $60 on it. Why? Well, because there's obviously so much more to a Senran Kagura game. There's so much more to a Xenoblade Chronicles game than just the boobs, right? Especially when you're playing a game that's like in third person, you see the characters from the back, you know, most of the time. So like, I don't see how that argument holds water, right? Where it's like, oh, you just like her because you're a pervert and you like boobs. Well, yeah, but on top of that, there's also a story, there's also cool design, there's also a good voice actress, there's also cool powers, you know, there's also, you know, all of the stuff that this person mentioned, all of the story stuff that the characters have to go throughout Xenoblade Chronicles 2 and the Torna DLC and all that stuff. It makes them lovable, it makes them memorable, it makes them, you know, become so much more talked about than, say, something like Dead or Alive Extreme 3. I always make this comparison with Senran Kagura, right? Why do I talk about Xenoblade and Senran Kagura so much more than I ever have Dead or Alive Extreme 3 Beach Volleyball Bikini Edition? Well, because one of them has substance and something to look forward to with cool gameplay and great designs and characters that have like an arc and stuff like that. And the other one is literally just a game where you watch bikini girls just walk around, you know? The big features that you have a camera to snap pictures, right? So like, it's very clear what the differences are as soon as you actually bother to take the time to engage with it. That's the big crux of the argument here. That's why I think that most of the hate doesn't come from hate. It comes from ignorance and personal bias. The personal bias is a pretty big one. That's 50% of the hate here, because it's like, I wanted my character, and that's not my character. It's some weird weeb anime thing, which literally all of the people that have played Xenoblade don't say that. And that's where the ignorance comes in. They both come, you know, very tight together, right? I never understand people that are so shocked and surprised when the Japanese company makes a Japanese game with Japanese stuff in it, you know? And if Westerners are fans, then they all just want to have their own Western stuff in it, like big Space Marine armor guy with gun. No. You know what would be better? The other big Army Space Marine guy with gun. No. We really need to show some originality here. We need to show something that's truly different, something that can really mix up the gameplay. My idea is a big Space Marine armor guy with a gun. But then they're shocked when they see some hot, sexy anime character with a big sword, which is essentially the Japan equivalent of big military armor guy with gun. And then people get mad, you know? But, you know, that's just natural when you have to sell a video game and promote it throughout many parts of the world with many different kinds of cultures, right? With many different kinds of desires. That's normal. I just don't see why you have to be a dick and like downplay someone else's favorite character because yours didn't rise up, right? And you know, maybe not everybody likes Crash Bandicoot. Maybe not everybody likes Geno, right? And so you're gonna see somebody in the internet, probably me, being like, who cares about Geno? Whatever, it's not that important. Who cares? You know, I've never even played Super Mario RPG, like what even the big deal is, right? And then those people will probably come back at me and be like, oh, you don't get it, man. If you actually played the game, you'll know that the story and this guy and his powers, and it fits perfectly for Smash, right? And so the funny part is that those people that want to like write a whole video essay over why Geno is so great, they don't give other people the same benefit of the doubt with anime characters like Pyra and Mythra, right? Because then the same thing happens here, right? The Geno, Waluigi, Crash Bandicoot, Dante lover, you know? They're gonna get up on their little soapbox and be like, well, who cares about big boob anime lady? Just a bunch of pedos that just want to jerk off to some anime lady. Ugh, I don't even see what the big deal is. Xenoblade? What Xenoblade? I've never played it. I don't care. I just don't care. And so then all the Xenoblade fans come in, and you see where I'm going with this. They're gonna be like, well, if you actually bothered to play Xenoblade, then maybe you'll know, because everybody that knows, right? All of the little references are there. Even Shulk shows up and says, hey, nice seeing you two again. Which is a super deep cut, by the way. People saying that it's all about the sex and the boobs and all that stuff, those are all tired arguments that have been done to death and that I and many other people have refuted to death a million times. And the main reason for how it can be refuted is for the same reasons for why you can refute, you know, Dante or Crash or Geno being in Smash, right? It's just people having a lack of communication and a lack of empathy and understanding for one another, right? But also lacking the maturity of like, hey, maybe I'm not gonna get what I want here. And if I get a different characters because there was some bigger fan base that was desiring this, and there's gonna be a bunch of people that are gonna be really happy, so I'll be happy for them. In the same way that we had Minecraft Steve, right? So many people were like baffled and confused over Minecraft Steve being in Smash. You know, Minecraft Steve, the character from like one of the highest selling games of all time, one of the most highly influential games of all time, one of the most popular and most played games on YouTube of all time. You know, that one game that people play on YouTube that gives them thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars to the point that they're living in a mansion playing Minecraft. You think that game doesn't deserve a spot in Smash? But again, when a lot of YouTubers were reacting to it, they were like, I've never played Minecraft. I mean, I don't know. I just know the memes about it. And you can respond in the same way to those people. Well, if you bothered to fucking play Minecraft, maybe you'd get it. In fact, I found a really good tweet somewhere around here. Let me show it. Oh, there's a tweet here that says, I promise y'all, the horny design is just for show, and that Pyra and Mythra are actually well-written characters that people love. I don't understand this thing about the design. Like, people say that it's such a horny design that is so hypersexual or whatever. I remember Maximilian Dude saying, oh, they added a bikini babe in Smash. I'm like, have you seen what a bikini looks like? Whatever you think a bikini is or what a bikini babe is, it definitely doesn't look like this. If you look at their design, they're like 90% covered. Bikinis don't tend to do that. You talk about how it's so hypersexual. People always like exaggerate about this design like it's literal hentai in motion. I even remember King K doing a video essay on like Xenoblade Chronicles 1 and then him like very lightly like at some point throwing shade at Xenoblade Chronicles 2 over their designs and saying like, oh, I'll play that game whenever I'm like, I don't know what he said, like locked up into a room when I don't die of embarrassment or something like that. It's like, really? Really for this? This is the most basic of basic shit. Like, what anime are you watching? Where like people are like even more covered up than this. And yeah, there's a little bit of censoring. I think like Mythra has leggings and stuff. It's a little bit more covered up, but only a little bit. There's really not a lot. It's not that big of a difference from what it is in original Xenoblade Chronicles 2. But yeah, I just don't understand that. There's so many other anime characters that are way more skimpy clothed, and people don't have a problem with it. Tifa from Final Fantasy VII being one. She has more skin exposed than any of these two characters combined, but for some reason, this is supposed to be porn and Tifa's not. That's what I'm saying, man. It's personal bias. It's ignorance and personal bias. It's not really hate. It's just not knowing what to hate. It's like all of these people that have Final Fantasy VII as like their favorite game of all time, right? But any other modern game that has like a lot of cutscenes or a lot of dialogue or has a lot of anime stuff in it, suddenly that's not okay, right? A really good example of people actually getting over themselves and actually learning to appreciate and engage with something to the point where they actually know and appreciate that thing even more is Giant Bomb. If you guys remember, Giant Bomb did a big Let's Play called the Endurance Run for Persona 4. And in typical English-speaking Westerner fashion, they go out of their way to like openly mock anime and shit on it and just assume that it's going to be the cringiest, stupidest thing ever until they actually play Persona 4 and they play through the entire thing with the true ending. And like not even halfway through the game, they're already making like deep cut jokes about the characters, getting super invested in the story, wanting to do social links with certain characters. They absolutely love it to the point that, you know, I remember one of the Game of the Year videos that Giant Bomb made. Jeff Gerstmann's #1 Game of the Year was Persona 4 Golden on PlayStation Vita, the one and only PlayStation Vita game that I think Jeff Gerstmann will ever acknowledge and like, both at the same time. And as for someone that's not super duper into anime and always makes fun of anime, like how is it possible that Persona 4 is like one of his favorite games ever? Because he fucking played it, that's why. He gave it the time of day and wow, what a shock, turns out he likes it. Same thing for Dragon Ball Z. Jeff Gerstmann did a podcast with someone else wanting to watch Dragon Ball Z because he was curious about it, and he loved it. After so many years of looking at Dragon Ball Z video games and not really getting it, always making fun of it and looking at it on the surface level, now that he's seen it, turns out he likes it, and now he has this whole other like fan base of people to love him because he loves Dragon Ball Z, and he appreciates the video games just a little bit more, especially fighters. Here's another example. Rogers Base, my boy Rogers Base, when he saw the reveal of Minecraft Steve, he was like he wasn't super into it. I think he was even like upset about it or whatever. But what are the details that are in that reaction? Oh, I've never played Minecraft, right? But then, you know what he did? Like a day later, he started live streaming Minecraft. And he played it, and he had a good time, and he liked it. And then when he went back to the Smash character to try him out, turns out he loves Minecraft, Steve, because he bothered to engage with the fucking thing. This totally brings a whole new meaning to the phrase, if you know, you know. Mythra traumatized her to destroying an entire continent and causing the people she loved to die. Oh my god. She formed Pyra, an alter ego, so her true powers could be sealed forever. Pyra wants to die because she thinks she'll cause harm to whoever she's around. But nah, big boobs, right? That's what I said. If you know, you know. And then there's this tweet that they're being responded to, which, you know, I guess the guy's trying to save himself by saying that he's like joking and trolling or whatever, but yeah, sure, whatever. Weeb's trying to explain why they love Pyra and Mythra for their deep and well-written character. Sure, we'll say the same shit whenever there's a character that you like, and we say, oh yeah, deep and well-written, like just... You know, we've been through the song and dance a million times. I'm tired of it. Even if it is a joke, right? Because all it does is just continue to enable people to just, like, not listen to each other whenever there's a character that you like. I find it really ironic that the people that think that they're, like, better than you or, like, morally better than you because they don't focus on the boobs at all, right? Oh, we don't care about that. And then when you criticize others, or you criticize a character, literally the only thing that you focus on is on the boobs, right? That very much, all it does is just expose people to the fact that they've never played the game, that they don't know what it's about, they're just looking at it on the surface level, and that's just what you want to poke someone with a stick at with it. Same thing. Certain people didn't like Persona 4, or like they assume that it's going to be a cringe fest. They play Persona 4, turns out they love it, right? Why? Because you play it, you engage it, you try to understand it. Same thing with Xenoblade. All of these people that are criticizing Xenoblade are people that just haven't played the game. So play it. I'm sure it'll be fun for you. And then maybe then you realize that the fan service is like fucking 5% of the game. It's like nothing. There we go. Here's the tweet that I've been trying to find this entire time. When someone's reaction to Pyra being added is the same as when a hero or a Fire Emblem character gets added, they really mean they just hate characters from games they haven't played. That's exactly the thing that I've been trying to say this entire time. Must be why people really hated Wii Fit when she was announced. I don't think people hated Wii Fit. They just thought it was like a weird choice or something. But yeah, you know, this is a really good point, right? You have the hero from Dragon Quest, you have Byleth, you have Pyra, and then like on top of that, Terry Bogard, right? There were so many characters that have come out recently that are like, well, who the hell is that? Oh, wasted character slot, right? Well, not wasted to all the people that actually know, as opposed to you, where you're talking from a place of ignorance and personal bias. Is it finally time for me to say that these are the exact same people who were fucking hyped about Joker, an anime character, despite never playing Persona 5 to the point where they harass Alice to put Persona 5 on the Switch? Exactly. Ignorance and personal bias. People that have played games like Dragon Quest XI or any other Dragon Quest game will absolutely love the reveal of the hero for Dragon Quest. You know, I got super hype about it as well, as so would the Japanese fans got really excited as well, right? That's another thing. You gotta have empathy for other people. It can't just be selfishness like me all the time, right? You need to factor in that there's many different people from many different parts of the world of many different ages, kids, teenagers, young adults, big adults, old people. Everybody plays Smash Brothers or knows about Smash Brothers, has a desire to engage with Smash Brothers. It's a wide range of people to make happy, right? So it's inevitable that some people are going to be unhappy about certain character choices. I just wish that people didn't have to be a dick about it and like be super petty as to be like, oh, well, you only like Pyra because you're a pervert. I can say the same shit and be like, well, you only like Banjo because you're a fucking disgusting furry. You only like Jigglypuff because it reminds you of that fleshlight that you keep under your drawer that you use every night as you tear up because you realize that no woman will ever have sex with you, right? Like, do you see what's happening here? Like, I can just throw out insults and just create this straw man of what I envision this person to be, and it's totally bullshit. None of it is true. And whenever you hear criticism, every single time is just what I said before. There's always people that rise up and they say, no, there's more to it than that. If you actually played the damn game, if you actually watched the damn anime, you'll know. And there's so many people that actually play the damn thing and they like it and then they appreciate the character now. It goes far back as Nintendo 64 Smash Brothers. Nobody knew who Ness was when Ness showed up in Nintendo 64. People just thought that it was like a surrogate for like the player character because it was like a little kid with a bat and a yo-yo, just like me. I don't remember a lot of people knowing who Captain Falcon was when he came out on the Nintendo 64 Smash game. People thought he was just the cool guy that when Falcon Punch, nobody ever assumed that he'd just be racing on a car. And then Melee came out, and then you had the Fire Emblem characters with Marth and Roy, and people were like, who the fuck is Martha and Roy? Fire Emblem, what even is that? But now time has passed, people have played the Fire Emblem games, they had great success, and now people love a lot of Fire Emblem characters, except for when, you know, they show up in excess, but still, when you know, you know. It's personal bias and ignorance, and as soon as all of that is done away with, you have a higher appreciation for pretty much all of the characters without having to be a jerk face and having to, like, insult other people just because it's not Dr. Eggman. You know, that one character that people just magically decided should be in Smash like a couple weeks ago. Even though all of the characters for Smash have already been decided more than a year and a half ago. Terry Bogard, same shit. People didn't know who Terry Bogard is. People were, you know, biased towards their own character and ignorant, so they just, you know, lashed out and said that that was a wasted character slot, but everybody that knew who Terry was absolutely loved it. Smash players seeing Pyra instead of random Nintendo character from 30 years ago. I mean, it's really easy to make that argument as well. I don't like that, even though it technically supports my argument. I don't like it when people are shitty like that as well, right? Even if they're right, I don't like it when it's like, oh yes, Pyra, and then some other shitty thing that you're not even gonna bother to name, right? It's so easy to do that. Anybody can just be like, oh, my thing that I like that I'm gonna name in detail, and then some other bullshit, right? Like, you're just being as much of a dick as the people that hate Pyra and Mythra in Smash. Everybody talking about Pyra's boobs, but we all know who's really the boss here. Yeah, this is always the funny part, right? Like, people always make such a big hissy fit over anime fan service, even if it's just a little bit, but there's always this so stupid double standard, right? Where, like, it's totally okay to talk about Wario's nipples when he's shirtless. It's totally okay to do an entire Let's Play of Super Mario Odyssey with naked Mario wearing nothing but some shorts. It's totally okay to do an entire playthrough of The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild with shirtless Link. It's totally okay to play Smash Brothers with shirtless Shulk. It's totally okay to play Smash Brothers with shirtless Sephiroth. It's totally okay to have a Square Enix press conference pre-show about who's your favorite Final Fantasy 15 husbando. But oh no, you see an anime girl that's really pretty that's like 95% covered and people are like, oh, that's just sad. And then they have to, like, do basic insults from appearance of, like, oh man, they put a bikini babe in Smash. Oh god, isn't she, like, super, like, hypersexual? Oh, let me get on the phone. Ring ring. Oh hey, video game convention called. They want their booth babes back. And I'm just sick and tired of it because as somebody who loves the Senran Kagura games, I see this shit every day. Just really ignorant people that have, like, this double standard of, like, you know, everyone else can be shirtless and you can, like, you know, zoom in on a fucking Nintendo character's nipples, but, like, God forbid, any female character shows, like, any little bit of skin because otherwise you're a pedophile, pervert, misogynist, sexist, horrible person that's gonna transform into a Nazi tomorrow like a fucking werewolf looking at the fucking full moon. And then there's just people that wanted Crash or something, and then they're just upset about that. I don't know. We still got 2 characters left, so if you think that this whole, like, hating on a character, loving on a character, that big divide is going to go away anytime soon, you're sorely mistaken. The only time when that'll stop will be when Sakurai stops putting out DLC characters. So anyway, as I was saying, I know I'm just ranting like how I always do, but the takeaway that I want people to get from this is to just be more empathetic of other people, right? If you're upset about it, chances are someone is really happy about it. With Pyra and Mythra being in Xenoblade or any other anime girl being in Xenoblade. I don't know why people have a problem with Pyra and Mythra and, like, you know, shit on their appearance and stuff, but, like, Bayonetta in Smash and, like, her attacks make her increasingly more naked as she attacks. And, like, no, that's cool, right? It's just bias and ignorance. That's all it is. And now that we're living in an age where just facts don't matter and feelings are the most important thing above anything else, people are even, like, glad and proud. You know, they hold it like a trophy to be ignorant and not know about things. So, like, it just makes people so much more difficult to communicate with. And that's just how it is. You just gotta be patient with people and just learn to not let it get to you. But it is frustrating when history just constantly repeats itself when it comes to fan service and anime stuff. There's always going to be those people that are just going to reduce these amazingly well-written characters into just, oh, titties. You know, it's like, oh, just a pair of titties. Wow, why can't you, like, look at women without having to think about their titties all the time, huh? Don't you know there are people? You just talk about their titties. Look, oh, look at their appearance. They just have titties, 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 titties. And, like, all of the actual fans, they spend, like, 95% of the time talking about the story arc and what they do and their personality and little in-jokes and stuff. And then later, you know, if there's a fan service thing, then we'll engage with the fan service thing as well, right? It's not just the fan service, it's everything else that's surrounding it as well, right? Nobody fucking talks about Dead or Alive Extreme 3 Beach Volleyball anymore because all it is fan service. But we talk about Senran Kagura so much more because there's more to it than that. We talk about Xenoblade Chronicles 2 because there's more to it than that. We talk about Final Fantasy VII with Tifa and Aerith and Yuffie because there's so much more to it than that. So just understand, you know, if you hate Pyra and Mythra being on Smash, chances are you haven't played Xenoblade Chronicles 2. And if you haven't, then I extend my hand an invitation for you to play it. At least Xenoblade Chronicles 1, you know, just try it out. I'm sure you'll like it. In the same way that all of these people that I talked about, they didn't know about X game and then they played it and then they loved it and now they understand all the references. It's all a matter of just you opening up to new things. If you don't know about it, like how people back in the Melee days didn't know about Fire Emblem, people played Fire Emblem and then they loved it and now they appreciate the character so much more. Nobody knew about, like, you know, freaking Earthbound or Mother 3 or anything like that, and then people played Earthbound and Mother 3 and now people love Ness and Lucas. I said it a million times and I'll say it again. Ignorance and bias. Do away with both and you'll have a much happier time looking and yelling at Smash trailers like how I and many other people do. You can be a little disappointed that your character didn't make it in, but there's really no reason to be mad and to lash out at other people for, you know, living the same joy that you could have lived if your character was in there, right? And you better be prepared to get hate for your character as well, right? It's give and take. It's not just me all the time. You have to factor in the Japanese audience. You gotta factor in kids. You gotta factor in, you know, teenagers that grew up with Minecraft, right? You have to factor in a bunch of fighting game fans with Ryu, Ken, and Terry Bogard. You have to factor in people that are like super hyper competitive that want to win tournaments with these characters. But you also have to factor in all the casual people that just want to have fun. All of these things are important, and Sakurai's like here juggling all of these things. It's not just like going on Blender, designing a character, and just slapdashing them into the game. There's, you know, there's a lot more to it than that. So don't get mad at Sakurai, and don't get mad at the Xenoblade Chronicles 2 fans or whatever. Get mad at yourself for your ignorance and your bias. And again, I don't want to pick a fight with you. If there's anything I'm going to say with anybody that's a hater of Mythra and Pyra is to just play Xenoblade. Who knows? In the same way that the Giant Bomb guys played Persona 4, and that's like one of their favorite games ever, even though it's a Japanese RPG that was on the PS2 and on the Vita. In the same way that Rogers Base didn't know anything about Minecraft, and then he started playing Minecraft, and now he likes it, and he appreciated Steve. In the same way that Maximilian Dude is like a hardcore fighting game player, but he played Final Fantasy VII, and that's his most favorite game ever, like the most like anti, like not Max thing ever, but that's his favorite game ever. That can apply to you too. Who knows? It could be an amazing adventure that you'll remember for a long time. Exposing yourself to brand new experiences, even though they seem like totally not you at all, who knows? It can open up your perspective and it can do nothing but enrich your life even more than it is now. And as for me, I don't know why, but I have this averse reaction to My Hero Academia, so let's just make a promise with each other. Let's do a little bit of an exchange. If you promise to play Xenoblade Chronicles 2 and actually understand Pyra and Mythra and why not as just a bunch of boobs and bikini babes, I'll watch My Hero Academia. I'll even record myself. And yeah, I'll let you guys know what I think of it. Chances are I'm probably gonna like it a lot. Because of the Marvel movies, I'm just so sick of superhero stuff right now. So, you know, a superhero anime is like, you know, I'm just sick of superheroes, but let's make a promise. You play Xenoblade, I'll watch My Hero. All right? All right. Catch you then.